Have you ever been told that self-care is always good for you no matter what? Here's the shocking truth. For women over 50, certain things you do immediately afterward can quietly sabotage your hormones, weaken your circulation, and even increase your risk of infections. In fact, 7 small mistakes I see women make every week in my clinic are turning what should be a source of healing into a hidden source of harm. Stay with me, because mistake number 4 is the one almost every woman admits to, and it is silently draining your energy night after night without you even realizing it. If you've ever woken up sore, restless, or strangely fatigued after what should have been a soothing private moment, you'll see exactly why once I walk you through this list. I'm Dr. Perriera, a gynecologist, with more than 30 years of experience guiding women through menopause and beyond. I know how hard it can feel to stay confident in your own body once hormones shift, skin gets thinner, and energy is harder to hold on to. But I also know something else. Intimacy with yourself, when handled wisely, can be one of the most powerful tools to restore vitality, improve circulation, and strengthen your pelvic floor after 50. The key is knowing what not to do in the fragile minutes afterward. Think of it this way. Imagine tending a delicate garden at sunset. You've watered the plants, loosened the soil, given them everything they need. But then, instead of letting them rest, you pour boiling water on them, leave them in darkness, and close the air. Would they thrive? Of course not. Yet this is what many women unknowingly do to their own bodies after self-care, rushing into hot showers, ignoring hydration, staying in tight clothes, or silencing the emotions that naturally rise. These small choices chip away at comfort, immunity, and long-term intimate health. Let me tell you about Eleanor, 72, a vibrant grandmother from Ohio. She enjoyed private self-care as a way to relax in the evenings, but she came to me frustrated by constant irritation and recurring infections. She thought menopause was to blame. In reality, her habit of jumping straight into a steaming hot shower afterward was stripping away the natural moisture her tissues desperately needed. Once we corrected that single mistake, her discomfort eased within weeks. I thought I was helping myself, she told me. I didn't realize I was making things worse. Eleanor's story is not unusual, and that's why this conversation is so urgent. Because your body after 50 is not the same as it was at 30. It needs a different kind of care. The mistakes that felt harmless decades ago can now have real consequences for your hormones, your circulation, your bladder, and your sleep. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 hidden mistakes to avoid after intimate self-care, and more importantly, the gentle, science-backed habits to replace them with. By the end, you'll have a step-by-step ritual that protects your hormones, strengthens your pelvic floor, and helps you wake up refreshed and comfortable instead of sore or drained. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. In the comments, type 1 if you've ever wondered why you sometimes feel worse, not better after intimacy with yourself. Or type 0 if you've never thought about it before. Your answer may encourage another woman to pay attention to her own body tonight. And if you haven't already, please hit the like button now. It tells YouTube to show this video to more women who need it. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the rest of this series. Because if you've been making even one of these mistakes, you'll want to know exactly how to stop tonight. Now let's start with the very first mistake. It feels comforting in the moment, but for women after 50, it can quietly harm your most delicate tissues. Jumping straight into a hot shower. Mistake number 1, rushing straight into a hot shower. Almost every woman I talk to believes this is the right thing to do. You finish, you feel warm and satisfied, and your first instinct is to step into a steaming stream of water. It feels like cleansing, like closure. But here's the reality. Hot water is not your friend after 50. When estrogen levels decline your skin, and especially the delicate tissues around your intimate areas lose natural oils and elasticity. They become thinner, more fragile, more prone to irritation. A blast of hot water strips away the few protective oils your body is still producing, leaving tissues drier, itchier, and more vulnerable to infections. Take Eleanor, the grandmother from Ohio I mentioned earlier. She thought her nightly showers were keeping her clean and healthy. In truth, they were the reason she felt sore and irritated afterward. Once she switched to lukewarm rinses and skipped the harsh soaps, the discomfort she had blamed on menopause began to fade in just 2 weeks. What to do instead? Allow your body to settle for at least 10 minutes before cleansing. When you do use lukewarm water and a gentle pH-balanced cleanser on the outside only, skip scrubbing. Your body isn't dirty. It's deserving of care. Mistake number 2. Skipping hydration. It sounds too simple to matter, but it's one of the most overlooked steps. Here's why it matters. Your body responds to self-care much like it does to exercise. Your pulse rises, your muscles contract, your skin warms. You lose fluid through sweat and breathing. At 30, your body bounces back easily. After 50, those small fluid losses carry more weight, exacerbating dryness, triggering headaches, and even raising your risk for urinary tract infections. I remember Linda, 67, from Florida. She laughed when I suggested drinking water afterward. "It's not like I ran a marathon," she said. Yet she often woke up restless and thirsty, with more bladder urgency than usual. Once she made hydration part of her intimate routine, a glass of water or herbal tea right afterward, her sleep improved and her bladder urgency eased. What to do instead? Keep water at your bedside. Even 250 millimils is enough to replenish what your body gave. If you want to be extra kind to yourself, sip chamomile or tart cherry tea to promote deeper rest. Think of it as saying thank you to your body for the release it just gave you. Mistake number 3. Ignoring pelvic floor relaxation. This one is sneaky because the discomfort doesn't always show up immediately. During self-care, your pelvic muscles contract in waves of pleasure. But after 50, those muscles don't always relax on their own. They may hold tension longer than you realize. The next day, that tension can show up as hip or back ache, bladder urgency, or even leaks when you laugh or sneeze. Take Rosa, 70, who came to me embarrassed by unexpected leakage. She thought it was just age. But when we traced her habits, we realized her pelvic floor was carrying years of hidden tension because she never allowed those muscles to soften after intimacy. What to do instead? Add 2 minutes of down training. Lie on your backhand on your belly. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6, and imagine your pelvic floor melting downward like warm wax. Gentle stretches help 2 knees open while lying down or hugging your knees into your chest. These few minutes aren't wasted. They're an investment in your bladder control and your comfort for years to come. So ask yourself, have you ever rushed into a hot shower, gone straight to sleep without a sip of water, or ignored your pelvic muscles after self-care? You might not have connected those choices to the soreness, dryness, or bladder issues you felt later. But they are linked, and the good news is you can change them tonight. In a moment, I'll share the next 2 mistakes, ones that almost every woman over 50 makes without realizing it. And one of them, number 4, is the single most common reason women in their 60s and 70s struggle with constant irritation. Don't miss it. Mistake number 4, staying in tight or damp clothing. This may sound harmless. You finish your private wellness routine, slip back into your underwear or pajamas, and crawl into bed. It feels cozy, familiar, like wrapping yourself in comfort. But here's the truth after 50. That habit can quietly set you up for infections and irritation. Why? With the decline of estrogen, the protective bacteria in your vaginal area shift. The tissue becomes thinner, the natural barrier weaker. When damp or tight fabric clings to your skin, it traps heat and moisture. That's the exact environment yeast and bacteria thrive in. The result? Itching irritation, or those frustrating recurrent infections many women assume are just part of getting older. Consider Patricia, a 71-year-old widow from Michigan. She came to me exhausted by constant yeast infections. She thought she needed stronger medication. But the real culprit was her nightly habit of slipping back into snug underwear immediately after self-care. Once she switched to breathable cotton shorts and often chose to sleep without underwear altogether, her infections finally stopped. She told me, "I can't believe decades of discomfort disappeared with one simple change." What to do instead? After your body cools, pat the area gently dry and change into loose, breathable clothing. Cotton is best. Or give yourself permission to sleep without underwear, allowing air to circulate and tissues to breathe. It may feel unfamiliar at first, but most women quickly notice how much more comfortable they are. Mistake number 5, suppressing the emotional release. This one surprises many women. Intimate self-care isn't only physical, it's deeply hormonal and emotional. After orgasm, your brain releases oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins. These chemicals can stir up emotions you didn't expect. Sometimes laughter, sometimes tears, sometimes a deep sense of calm. Too often, women try to hide or push away these feelings. They brush them off, convince themselves they're silly, and rush back into chores or television. But ignoring emotional release doesn't make it disappear. It simply buries it deeper, where it can resurface later as restlessness, tension, or even physical discomfort. Take Susan, 68, who confessed to me she sometimes cried afterward. She thought it meant she was broken or lonely. But I explained that her tears were her body's way of letting go of decades of stored stress and grief. When she finally allowed herself to experience those tears as healing rather than shame, she noticed something remarkable. She slept better, felt calmer, and even laughed more easily during the day. What to do instead? Create a safe space for whatever arises. Give yourself 2 minutes of stillness. If laughter bubbles up, let it. If tears fall, allow them. If calm fills the room, breathe it in. This is not weakness, it's wisdom. Your body is telling you what it needs to release in order to restore balance. These first 5 mistakes, rushing into a hot shower, skipping hydration, ignoring your pelvic floor, staying in tight clothing, and suppressing emotions, are the most common traps I see in women over 50. And each one chips away at your comfort, confidence, and health in ways that are completely preventable. In just a moment, I'll reveal mistake number 6. It's something many women think of as a reward after self-care, but it's actually the fastest way to sabotage your hormones and your sleep. And right after that, mistake number 7, the most overlooked step of all, yet the one that has the power to transform your entire experience. Don't miss these last 2, because together they explain why so many women feel drained instead of renewed. Mistake number 6. Reaching for alcohol or heavy sweets immediately after. I know this feels tempting. Many women tell me that after a moment of private self-care, they love to reward themselves a glass of wine, a slice of cake, maybe even both. It feels comforting, like a way of extending the pleasure. But here's the science. After 50, your body metabolizes alcohol and sugar differently. Alcohol may relax you at first, but it disrupts hormone balance, aggravates hot flashes, and fragments your deep sleep. Sugar or heavy foods spike blood glucose, then cause a sudden crash, leaving you sluggish and irritable the next morning. Combined, they fuel inflammation that magnifies the very challenges, dryness, fatigue, mood swings that women in midlife are already trying to overcome. Let me share Margaret's story. She was 73, a retired librarian from New Jersey. Her ritual was always the same: private self-care, followed by a glass of red wine and a chocolate brownie before bed. She told me she woke up groggy, anxious, and strangely restless. She thought it was just aging, but when we swapped her nightly reward for calming chamomile tea and a small bowl of Greek yogurt with berries, she was shocked. Within a week, her mornings felt lighter, her sleep was steadier, and her mood improved. What to do instead? Choose nourishment, not sabotage. Herbal teas like chamomile or tart cherry support hormone balance and sleep. A banana provides magnesium and natural compounds that help your muscles relax. Even plain water can replenish what your body lost. The point is not to deny yourself, but to give your body something that supports renewal rather than undoing it. Mistake number 7, skipping rest and aftercare. This is perhaps the most overlooked mistake, and the one with the greatest potential to transform your experience. Too many women treat private self-care like checking a box. They finish, straighten the sheets, glance at their phones, or head right back to chores as if nothing meaningful just happened. But your body, especially after 50, needs more than just release. It needs integration. Here's why. Orgasm activates your nervous system in profound ways. Your blood pressure rises, your heart rate quickens, your brain releases a flood of hormones. When you pause afterward, your immune system strengthens, your stress hormones stabilize, and your sleep deepens. Without that pause, you miss out on the best part, the healing afterglow. I'll never forget Elaine, 69, who told me she felt guilty about resting afterward. She thought lying quietly for 10 minutes was wasting time. But when she finally allowed herself to simply breathe and be still, she said something that brought tears to my eyes. For the first time in years, I felt like my body wasn't just useful, it was precious. That shift changed not only her health, but her relationship with herself. What to do instead? Give yourself 5-10 minutes of quiet rest. Dim the lights. Silence your phone. Place one hand on your belly and one on your heart. Breathe slowly. Let your body absorb the hormonal, emotional, and physical benefits you just created. If dryness is a concern, this is also the perfect time to apply a gentle, fragrance-free moisturizer or a doctor-approved vaginal moisturizer externally. Think of it this way. Your body is like an orchestra. The music is beautiful during the performance, but the silence afterward is what lets the sound settle in your soul. Without that silence, the beauty fades too quickly. That quiet pause is not indulgence, it is medicine. So let me ask you, are you giving yourself that medicine, or are you rushing past it? Type rest in the comments if you're ready to claim those extra minutes of renewal for yourself tonight. Now that we've uncovered all 7 mistakes, I want to pull everything together for you. Because the real transformation happens not only when you avoid harm, but when you embrace a simple, loving ritual that restores your hormones, your circulation, and your confidence after 50. Stay with me, because in just a moment, I'll recap the entire list, give you a clear 7-step routine you can follow tonight, and leave you with a message of hope every woman deserves to hear. Now that you've heard all 7 mistakes, let's bring it together. Number 1, rushing straight into a hot shower. Number 2, skipping hydration. Number 3, ignoring pelvic floor relaxation. Number 4, staying in tight or damp clothing. Number 5, suppressing emotional release. Number 6, reaching for alcohol or heavy sweets. Number 7, skipping rest and aftercare. Each one may seem small, but together, they quietly rob women over 50 of the very benefits private self-care should bring: better circulation, stronger pelvic support, steadier hormones, deeper sleep. The good news is that every one of these mistakes is completely avoidable. So here is a simple 7-step aftercare ritual you can begin tonight. Pause before cleansing. Allow your heartbeat to settle. Skip the steaming shower, use lukewarm water later if you wish. Hydrate. Sip a glass of water or calming herbal tea within 10–15 minutes. Think of it as refueling. Release the pelvic floor. Take 2 minutes of slow breathing. Inhale 4, exhale 6. Imagine the pelvic muscles melting downward. Change clothing. Pat, dry, gently slip into loose cotton, or simply let your skin breathe. Honor your emotions. If laughter comes, laugh. If tears come, let them fall. If calm arrives, breathe it in. This is healing, not weakness. Nourish, don't sabotage. If you want a snack, choose something light and supportive like yogurt with berries or a banana. Avoid wine, alcohol, or heavy sweets. Rest. Give yourself 5–10 minutes of quiet stillness. Lights low, phone away, hand on belly, hand on heart. This is where the deepest renewal takes place. These steps are not about rules. They are about respect for your body, for your hormones, for your heart. Think of them as a love letter to yourself, written in actions rather than words. I've seen countless women transform their evenings with this ritual. Margaret felt calmer mornings. Susan finally embraced her tears as release instead of shame. Elaine discovered that her body wasn't just useful, it was precious. And you can feel that same renewal starting tonight. So here's my invitation. Don't treat private self-care as a quick release to rush past. Treat it as a ritual, a chance to heal, to connect, to strengthen the very parts of you that carry your years with grace. Every time you give yourself this gift, you're choosing vitality over fatigue, confidence over doubt, renewal over decline. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 mistakes do you catch yourself making most often? And which of the 7 ritual steps will you start tonight? Leave your answer in the comments, because your story may inspire another woman who feels alone in this. If this video spoke to you, please take a moment to support this channel. Tap the like button right now, subscribe so you won't miss the next women's health lesson, and share this video with a friend or sister who deserves to feel this renewal too. And if you'd like me to create a printable checklist of the 7-step ritual type checklist in the comments, I'll post it for you. And before we close, let me remind you, this video is for educational purposes only. It does not replace medical advice. Every woman's body is unique. If you are experiencing pain, significant changes, or have personal concerns, please consult with your healthcare provider. Your well-being deserves personalized care.